Let's see how much I can read in 24 hours. Hi guys, it's Leah. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to my monthly 24-hour readathon. Every single month I do 24-hour readathons with my patrons and then I film them for you guys. As ambitious as it is exciting, I have some books that I definitely want to finish and I have some books that I want to start and finish in their entirety. So I'm quickly going to go through the TBR. The one book that I'm currently reading that I definitely would like to get finished is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I started this in a vlog recently. I did say it wasn't going to be in any other video. I had anticipated to finish it prior to this, however I have 156 pages left and I just want it done. I'm not gonna lie, so hopefully we can finish this today. And then some books that I would like to start and finish. First and foremost, we have The Unworthy by Augustina Bastarrica. This is the author of Tender as the Flesh. I still have never read Tender as the Flesh, which really surprises me because I feel like I would absolutely love it, but I've heard people raving about this one, so I'm very excited for that. A book that I bought literally yesterday from a secondhand bookshop is Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, another one that I've heard really good things about. I know that this has been published for quite a while now, but I've seen raving reviews and I know nothing about it other than I think it's slightly strange and a little bit eerie. And books like that always sound like I'm absolutely gonna adore it. It's obviously very short too, so I might get to this one. One that I definitely will be getting to because I will be starting with this one is Ascension by S.T. Gibson. I will be starting with this one because it's the one that my patrons first voted for me to start with. Every single month, kind of as tradition, they pick which book I start the readathon with, and they did go for this one. This is actually going to be a buddy read with Mela. Absolutely worth noting that, like always, Daisy and Mela will be joining me for the readathon, which is super exciting, as much as it is bittersweet because it is our last one where we're all living together. I will be buddy reading this with Mela and it is going to be the one that we start with, so I'm very excited to carry on with this series. And then lastly on the list, just in case I want that sort of vibe, I have the second Liminal Zone by Junji Ito in case I want to switch things up a little bit. So that is kind of my TBR. As always, I might stray away from this, I might read all of them, I might read one of them, who's to know. I am very excited. I'm very excited to see how much I get read. As always too, I am kicking off the readathon with live reading sprints over on my Patreon. I'm going to start that now, and obviously I will come on, give you updates with what I'm reading, how much I'm reading. I am so excited for today. We are 2 hours into the readathon and I thought that Mela and Daisy should probably tell you what their TBRs are, what they're reading, all of that fun stuff.
I'm reading Ascension and I have no TBR because if I say something I'm going to read the total opposite. So I'm thinking maybe, what's it called? Incandescent? Then what else do I read? Burial Bone? I don't know. Anyway, I don't have a TBR, but right now I'm reading Ascension.
Period.
Made in the Rebel Witch.
Yay! What you can't see is I'm kicking my feet.
I'm on page 58 currently. I've been told by Leah I need to be with her when I finish.
I need to see her reaction to the ending of The Rebel Witch.
I know what
it's one of those books where watching somebody else read it is the best experience in the world. It's like rewatching Game of Thrones and watching it with someone for the first time. I need to see her reaction. I'm gonna go to a cafe once our reading sprints are done. We're doing one more half-an-hour sprint. We're gonna go to a new cafe because, like I said earlier, not to get all emotional and to make us all cry, but it's our last readathon when we're all living together. So we're gonna go to a cafe we haven't been before. Yeah, we're gonna get some food, maybe get matcha. That's all I'm honestly really craving. Definitely get a matcha. And then yeah, we're just gonna come back and lock in with reading.
Take a sip like this.
We are now back from the cafe. I wanted to go to this cafe for years, but for some reason I never went, and oh my god, the cakes, it was insane. I feel like that is going to be a keen reading spot from now on. It was so good. And whilst I was there, I got up to page 124 of Evocation, and I'm not gonna lie, we are quite a bit into the readathon now. We are, oh my god, probably like 5 hours in. This ends up happening every single month where I go outside and I'm not like locking in to read, so then I don't read a lot for the first like 5-6 hours of the readathon, and then all of the books I end up reading in the evening. I feel like that is the case again with this. However, now that I'm home, I'm planning on getting just comfy, locking in, maybe with some brown noise in my headphones. Last time that worked really well. I am really enjoying this. This is the sequel to Evocation by S.T. Gibson, and I read that last year, loved it. I have adored every single thing that I've ever read from S.T. Gibson. I would highly recommend her. I think her books are especially great in autumn. Obviously it's summer, but with that being said, it's not like the sunniest day ever, so I feel like this is the perfect time to read it. I'm having the time of my life. I've said it once before, but I'll endlessly say it again. You could put Reese Moira and David in any situation, and I'm always going to read it, and this backdrop is so fascinating. The series very much talks about the occult, there are witches, it is very, very magical and very whimsical. I will say my only downfall with this book currently are the number of pop culture references. If I genuinely have to read about TikTok or a Zara blazer, again, I fear I'm gonna run my head into a wall. I don't like it, and it's actually kind of taken me out of the story, which is sad because I love S.T. Gibson's work so much. With that being said, however, I'm definitely going to try and lock in and finish this now. I think I'm gonna do another live stream with Daisy and Mela and my patrons later tonight. In an ideal world, I would definitely love to finish this before the next live stream, and then I can finish Silver Elite in that and then start a new book later. I don't really know, but I am planning on reading a lot. I'm nothing if not determined. I obviously wanted to come on and say that I am really enjoying this currently, and that we are home and I'm about to lock in. So let's see how much I can read, how long this is actually gonna take me to finish. I'm so excited for the rest of the books on my TBR, so hopefully I can get to them soon. How are you finding avocation?
Very good. It's getting juicy.
It is getting juicy. If you like jealousy in a fantasy,
tension,
also polyamory for anybody who hasn't, which adds more jealousy, more tension,
more sides.
Yeah, I'm glad you're liking it too. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it carries on going, because we're not even halfway, guys. It is now 20 to 9. We're gonna do another live reading sprints with my patrons, but we are locking the fuck in because we actually, none of us have finished a book just yet. We need to lock in. Mela and I are still reading Ascension. Daisy's still reading The Rebel Witch. But what are you guys thinking about? Because I've given my update so far about.
I don't care about this man.
I don't care. Yeah, I feel like a lot of this book is centered around somebody who's not Reese, Moira, and David.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
It's a solid, it's a fun time.
It's fun.
It's silly goof, but it's not goof enough, do you know what I mean? Or silly enough. Actually, it's not silly goof though. I'm on page 200 and I'm eating this shit up. Period.
Oh my god. We're locking in, we're doing the sprints. We will update you soon. Do you know what it's giving? The grandparents in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I literally was about to say that.
It is currently 10 to 12, 10 to midnight, and we... I'm sorry, this does look so fun. I look like I've been banished. But to give you a quick update, Mela and I have now finished Ascension. Daisy is still reading The Rebel Witch. What did you think of Ascension?
There were thoughts to be heard. Boring! No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, it wasn't boring. I'm joking.
No, I think it was a little bit boring. We're not going to be able to string a coherent sentence together at all. We are so past the point of delirious. I am now trying to finish Silver Elite. I think I've got about 70 pages left. I'm fighting for my life to try and finish this, and then I can go to sleep. That's my reward.
I need to get closer for this one.
I'm so happy one of us has energy.
She said it's getting serious. You bitch medicine.
She said giggle with one word. Gideon. Giggy.
Giggy. Giggy. Oh, Giddy for Gideon. Yeah, but then I just said Giggy. Giggy for Gideon. I'll cry.
I actually need to recenter myself. I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Oh my god. Anyways, I'm on page 316. We'll get into the good bits.
The good bits, baby, I have no idea what's to come, respectfully.
She's been saying that all day.
Good morning, guys. It is about 10 AM. My morning voice is crazy this morning, but I wanted to come on and give you an update that this morning I have just started The Unworthy, and I'm 40 pages in, which I think is about 21% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying this. Actually, enjoying isn't really the right word. It is utterly unhinged. It's given very much cult vibes, but I'm loving the writing style. I've never read anything from this author before. I've always wanted to read Tender is the Flesh, however, I feel like I'm gonna love this, and it's gonna make me even more excited to read Tender is the Flesh. I am definitely planning on hopefully finishing this this today. I don't think last night I gave you a single speaking update about me finishing Evocation, and then once I was finished with Evocation I read the last like 150 pages of Silver Elite. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite surprised that I didn't end up DNFing Silver Elite. I definitely have some thoughts on it that I can't put into a coherent sentence right now because my voice, 1. 2, I need a cup of tea. I will definitely sit down and give you my thoughts on obviously Evocation and especially Silver Elite once I'm up properly. But yeah, I wanted to give you an update and let you know that at least I did finish those, and I'm currently reading The Unworthy. My goal honestly for this readathon in general was to read the entirety of Evocation and The Unworthy and finish Silver Elite. So if I finish this in the next 3 hours I will be so happy. I don't really know how much I've filmed for this vlog. Hopefully it'll be enough and it will still be quite entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, last night I was struggling. I was fighting for my life not to fall asleep. I think I got into bed at about 1 p.m. and I swear to God the second that my head hit that pillow, oh my god, I clocked out. So yeah, hopefully I can finish this. I think I will be able to finish this in the next 3 hours. Whilst I'm making some breakfast and like making my bed, cleaning my room and stuff like that, I think I might also listen to an audiobook of On the Calculation of Volume 2. I did actually start it the other day and I don't think I have long left, so there's potential for me to even finish that for the next 3 hours, babe. This is ambitious. Okay, I have an hour and 39 minutes left of On the Calculation of Volume 2, so I highly doubt that I'll finish that and this, but I definitely will listen to some of it whilst I make breakfast and things like that. Yeah, those are my plans this morning. Hopefully I can actually finish this. That would make me feel very accomplished. And yeah, I will update you once I actually sound like myself and I've had a cup of tea.
So weird.
Clarice Lispector mention?
Though their words were inside me. Hello! Bet you didn't see that one coming. We're all on the couch reading.
Oh, who would have thought?
Shit, it's gonna hit the fan. I'm not ready for it. I'm actually gonna cry. I'm actually about to fucking. I'm actually gonna throw up. Take a shot every time you see it. Actually, I'm actually gonna throw up.
I want to be reading that for the first time again.
Oh, I'm actually gonna fucking sob. Where are you? Where are you? I'm on one tear.
It's a canon event actually.
Average experience.
In a bit.
Oh.
It is.
Oh my god, babe! Oh no! Oh my god, do you want me to bring the cinnamon up? Oh, this is already I'm cooking.
Oh, it's really not funny at the end of the day.
No, it's really not. Why did you recommend this book to me? Why? Explain yourself.
Sorry. I didn't write it though. Kristen, that's on you, babe.
You finished? Thoughts? I don't find. Oh.
Real. I get it. What would you rate it?
5.
Really?
5.
And do you know what, as it should? Definitely not finishing this audiobook because I have 52 minutes left, but I'm devastated for you. I'm not even being sarcastic, I actually am.
Why the fuck did you introduce me to... I blame you!
Did you not have the time of your life?
No, I did.
I can't believe you read it in 24 hours though.
I know, I'm quite impressed with myself.
Yeah. The readathon's over.
Never read a book again, guys. Yeah.
We're never going to see each other ever again. Hi guys, obviously the readathon is now over, so I wanted to come on and give you my thoughts on all of the books that I read. I'm actually quite happy with the quantity of what I read. I feel like I say this every single month, but every time I start a readathon I feel like it takes me a while to finish a book, but then once I have finished one I end up churning them out, and I feel like that's kind of what I did. I didn't read too many, however I am very happy with what I did read. So obviously off the get-go I started Ascension and I also finished Ascension First by S.T. Gibson. This is the sequel to Evocation by S.T. Gibson, and I'm starting to feel slightly conflicted with this series. I don't even really know how to describe it. It is extremely occult. We are following sorcerers and witches and it is so magical and so whimsical. However, in this one the pop culture references, babe, had me in a chokehold, but not in a good way. When I read Evocation, I just kind of glossed over them, but like Zara Blazer, well, that has no business being in a fantasy book. I love these characters so much. I love reading about Reese, Moira and David. I feel like I could read absolutely anything in any scenario with them and I would love it. However, this one very much felt like about 60% of the book was focusing on a different character and I didn't really like that, which is such a shame because this was one of my most anticipated books for the year. I was incredibly excited about it. In the end, I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. I will still definitely recommend any book by S.D. Gibson, but I'm starting to think that this series isn't my favourite, or at least this book wasn't in the series so far. I don't really know. I feel like because I wasn't really loving it too, it naturally made me read it a little bit slower than I originally would have, but yeah, 3.5 stars for that. After that, you would have then seen briefly that I did go on to finish Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I can't remember how many pages I had left. I think I want to say like 150, 160, and I did read them in their entirety. I am not gonna lie, I am so surprised that I didn't DNF this in the end, but I will say I have so many thoughts about this, good but mainly bad. To give you the kind of setting I think I'm gonna settle on a 2.5 star rating. Off the get-go, is this fun? Yes. Can I see why people love it for the fun aspect? Yes, like it really reads like Divergent. I think in that aspect it is incredibly nostalgic and is going to hit home for a lot of people. However, I just cannot get past the romantic dystopian. I think especially if you're not even really going to slightly comment on the dystopianness of it. I read a review of this last week essentially saying that it would be the Hunger Games as if Katniss had slept with a game maker, fallen in love with him and was like, actually, they're not all that bad. And I cannot lie, it is exactly that. I think if you're going to write a dystopian in general, especially a dystopian romance, and the romance is leaning more towards the oppressor and she's falling in love with her oppressor and you don't have any sort of commentary surrounding that, it just makes me feel a little bit icky. I think I just really couldn't get past that. Was it fun in places? Like I said, yes, I can see people having fun with this, but for me, like, I need to kind of engage with my books in some sort of way, and for this it just completely missed the mark. There were so many opportunities where we could have had discussions surrounding what is actually happening in this book and the totalitarian government that they're living in and the dystopianness, but it just didn't happen. It was incredibly surface level. On top of that, personally too, in my opinion, the writing wasn't that great and the characters did sort of grate on me. Again, was the romance fun? Yeah, sure, slightly, but I'm not gonna lie, that's not why I would pick up a book like this. And I just think the bare minimum, at the bare minimum, babe, at least have a discussion about the oppression. I don't really know, but 2.5 stars. I feel like this is one that very evidently a lot of people have been discussing for good reason, and I'm really intrigued in having discussions surrounding it. So if you liked this, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. I feel like it's quite a Marmite book. I personally will not be carrying on with the series, but yeah, those were my thoughts on Silver Elite. I'll probably go more in depth with my thoughts naturally in my wrap up for the month, but yeah, 2.5 stars. The second that I finished Silver Elite last night, the second really that my head hit that pillow at 1 AM, I completely knocked out. But this morning I read the entirety of The Unworthy by Augustina Bastarrica. This is a book that I was really intrigued about. Like I said, I never read Tender as the Flesh before. I really want to, but I think I'm gonna wait until like the end of the year, at least like autumn, winter vibes. Because of that, going into this, I didn't really know what the author's writing style was like. I really didn't know what to expect, other than I saw people say it was slightly unhinged and it was quite culty. I will say I absolutely love this. I think this is definitely my favourite book that I read in the readathon. I feel like this is a book best going into knowing as little as possible. In many places it is slightly graphic in its descriptions, but I think if you like I Who Have Never Known Men, that was actually one other thing that I did see somebody talk about in a review. They kind of recommended it for fans of I Who Have Never Known Men. It's very similar in that aspect, and I actually have to agree. I feel like that can come across as quite a bold statement because obviously I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman is one of my favourite books of all time, but I think if you liked the confinement discussion surrounding that and the discussion surrounding women and womanhood, I think you would really like this. It was very similar in that aspect and I loved it, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the writing style was absolutely astonishing. There were so many quotes in this that kind of like had my breath hitch. I really loved it. Simultaneously, when it came down to the religious imagery, I feel like I haven't read a literary book or like a horror book with religious imagery the way that this does in a really long time, and I really love that subgenre in fiction. I think the way that Augustina Bastarrica wrote this was just absolutely phenomenal, and like I said, I think it is one best going into knowing as little as possible. It is very culty, it's very quiet, very somber, and definitely has that post-apocalypticness, but in a very ambiguous sense, kind of like I Who Have Never Known Men. I really liked it. I feel like I'm kind of stumped on a rating between 4.25 and 4.5. I think I'm gonna go for 4.25. I would really love to reread this in autumn. I'm definitely gonna reread it later this year, maybe alongside Tender as the Flesh, but I really love this and I would highly recommend this. This was definitely my favourite book that I read the entire readathon. And then obviously obviously I didn't finish this, nor did I really start it in the readathon, but I did listen to a little bit of On the Calculation of Volume 2 on audiobook. I am really enjoying this so far. I will definitely say I'm not liking it as much as I did the first book. I feel like this one is slightly repetitive, and I hate saying that when obviously the whole synopsis and the whole point of the story is that we are following a protagonist in a Groundhog Day. It is repeatedly the same day over and over. Naturally, that's going to be repetitive. However, in the first book, one thing that I loved so much about it was the way that the author made every single scene unique despite the fact of its repetitiveness, and I don't feel the same way with this one. I don't really know. I'm enjoying listening to the audiobook. Like I said, I am probably going to finish it today even though it's outside of the readathon, but I wanted to mention that I of course listened to a little bit of it, and it is also on my June TBR, which makes me feel slightly successful. But those were the 3.5 books that I read in the readathon. Really had a great time. I also really love reading alongside Daisy and Mila, and of course my patrons. It is always so much fun. I look forward to July's one, although it's going to be interesting because I'm going to be in a new flat. But of course I am very excited, and if you ever want to join on Patreon side of things, that is always linked down below. I do a lot of live streams in general, but especially in the 24-hour readathon. If you've read any of the books that I also read in this video, please let me know if they are on your TBR even, or if you want to show you stayed until the very end of the video and you don't really know what to comment any bug emoji. That kind of grosses me out, but if you've read this book you'll know. As always, if you are not yet subscribed, it would mean the absolute world to have you here. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching and for spending some time with me today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon with another video.